To hear
Okay.
me?
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I am Alex Shadrow, the Chief Marketing Officer at List Perfectly, and today we actually have such an informative webinar for you, how to grow your reseller Instagram. So in just a moment, I'm going to share my screen and get started. But first, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm going to be taking your questions via the comments here. So just anytime you have a question, type it right in and it will be coming to me. That being said, I am going to be on my presentation, so I'm not going to be looking at the comments. They are going to be sending them to me, and I will be answering them at the end, maybe a little bit in between. But yeah, just jump in anytime because that's what this is all about. We're here for you to learn, and I want you to make the most of this. So without further ado, I'm about to share my screen. Again, this is how to grow your reseller Instagram. So please keep in mind, these tips are for reseller Instagram accounts pretty much exclusively. Of course, they do apply to your own personal accounts, but I definitely tailored this presentation to be for your reseller account. So here we go. Okay, we are going to just get into a full screen here. And for any of you guys that are trying to take notes or remember this stuff, it's going to be linked in the video notes. So no worries, you're going to have access to this presentation again. Okay, let's get started. So as many of you know, it's a very exciting time at List Perfectly. We just launched our 10th marketplace, which is Shopify. It's one of the biggest, I'm not going to call it a marketplace. I'm going to say platforms to sell on because it isn't exactly a marketplace. But it is one of the biggest platforms to sell on in the world. It was rated the top three marketplaces or platforms in the world. There's 218 million buyers on here, way more than Poshmark. So I want you guys to really take that in. This is a huge opportunity. And today's presentation about Instagram really couldn't have come at a better time. And this is really why we're doing it, is because we just launched Shopify. And Shopify actually has a API or a tool, let's call it a tool, you can use to make your Instagram posts shoppable. Yes, people can actually check out your products using Shopify on Instagram. So if you post a picture of an item that you're selling, they can click on it and actually purchase it right then and there from Instagram, from their phone. So this is a huge opportunity. We are doing a Shopify webinar next Thursday, 8/20 at 11 a.m. PST. The link for that webinar is linked right here. Again, this whole presentation will be in the notes, but just I really want you guys to take that in. Shopify will allow you to make your Instagram posts shoppable. Check out right there on Instagram. So this is a big opportunity, and that's why today's presentation is about Instagram, something I'm extremely familiar with. Okay, so we're going to start with some basic do's and don'ts. I always love to kind of give a framework around how to think about the topic. So let's just start with this. Think to yourself, I'm going to put in 10 minutes a day. Let's start with that, right? Don't stress over it. This is not supposed to be stressful. If it's stressful, number one, it should be your full-time job, right? You should be getting money from it if it's going to be stressful for you. Or it should be something that you're actually like I was saying, getting paid to do. So think about it as just something that it has to be sustainable for you to continue to do it. So just bite off what you can chew and do not stress over what you're not doing. All right, this is a big one. Document, don't create. This is a very important distinction. So I think a lot of people are very stressed out because they're like, oh my God, I need to make this perfect post and this perfect video, and it needs to have captions, and it needs to have effects, and it needs to be what I see on YouTube. It needs to be like this Instagram person I follow. Absolutely not. We want to see you documenting your real life, being your real authentic self. Grab your phone and say, hey guys, I'm at Goodwill right now and I am sourcing some amazing products. Let's take a look, flip it over to the rack and just document what you're doing. Again, document, don't create. That's going to take away a lot of the stress. Okay, so always make sure you're using Instagram's newest features. Now, how do you know what Instagram's newest features are? The good news is whenever Instagram releases a new feature, they pretty much spam you with it on Instagram itself, so you're going to see it. Most recently, Instagram has launched what we call Reels, and that's a new feature on Instagram. It's just another way to share content. It's very similar to TikTok. They're essentially copying TikTok with that. So make sure that you're using all the different types of things that Instagram offers. Instagram TV, Instagram stories, Instagram grid. We want to make sure that you're using all those reels, of course, which just came out. We want to make sure you're using all those different kinds of posts versus just always posting photos, always posting videos. You do have to mix up the kind of content that you create and that you post. Excuse me, that you document and that you post. So do follow other resellers. Pretty simple. Don't follow more people than are following you. Now, this is I'm not going to say it's a rule, but unfortunately, optics do matter. And when people see that you're following, let's say 2,000 accounts, but you only have 200 followers, they're not going to want to follow you because they're going to see you as somebody that's going to follow them, not as somebody that they should follow. And this is not something that people are actively sitting around a dinner table discussing. It's just a very quick 1-second mental thing that happens, in kind of consumer behavior. So just make sure that you're kind of mindful about how many people you're following versus following you. And if you really want to gain followers, but you don't want to, hit that follow button, just spam them with some Insta love. Okay, so definitely post original content that you create. Don't use too many filters or edits. Like I said, document, don't create. And you can repost and share other people's content. I personally like to recreate other people's content, which I think that's how all media and mediums are done, right? Like somebody saw a painting, got inspired, and then made their own version of that painting. So it's not copying, it's just kind of getting inspired, I would say. But if you are going to repost something that somebody else created, you always have to give them credit. So always make sure that you shout them out. And then, of course, there is going to be a small cost, I think, to growing your Instagram, whether that's your time, which you might be valuing, let's say, at $10 to $40 an hour, maybe $400 for those of us out here that really know how much we're worth. So there is some kind of cost associated to anything with business. You guys know that better than anyone. You're List Perfectly members, and you see that when you spend a little money in business, you can get so much back. You can actually earn on that, right? I like to say, is it expensive? Well, it depends what you're going to get for it, right? $5 isn't expensive if you're going to get 50 from it. So make sure that if you're going to spend money, that you're very clear on what you're getting for it. So say, we're going to talk about giveaways in a little bit, but let's just say you run a giveaway, like set it up so you say, all right, I'm going to spend $20 and I want to get 20 followers. So I pay $1 per follower and that's worth it for me. So make sure you're keeping in mind, what you're getting for the money you're spending, but do put it in your head that you're going to have to spend a little money like anything else in business to get good results. Okay, let's dive in. And I'm just going to mute myself for 1 second because I need to cough. So one moment. Okay. So we're going to start with your Instagram bio, which is the very basic of how people first see your page. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. Let's not get too crazy with the technical stuff. We don't need to get confused here. If you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, she's talking about SEO, let's take a deep breath because it's not going to be like that. I'm going to explain it super, super simply, and it's just a cool way to think about it. So search engine optimization is essentially the way that we put together our page, whether it's a web page or an Instagram page, that then a person who wants to find us types in a keyword or types in a search phrase and we would pop up. So how do other people discover you on Instagram? New people. Well, if you put keywords in your bio on Instagram and somebody searches for that keyword, your account will come up. So when people search for sustainable, my Instagram name is Sustainabay and I have sustainable in my bio. So when somebody's searching sustainability, Sustainabay pops up. That's really important. So your name is searchable like a keyword. So I actually have another account. It's called Thriftspired. But as you guys can see, we have your daily thrifting fix is actually the name of my account versus just rewriting Thriftspired, which is what I see so many accounts do. They'll take their username and they'll just write it in as their name as well. So they'll have Thriftspired and then Thriftspired again as their name right here. So it's really important that you use that namespace with a keyword. And you really want to make sure that you're using niche words, right? Like the word thrifting is really overused, but words like upcycled or repurposed are going to be a lot more like a lot more availability for people to find you, not so taken up by so many other accounts that are using those same words. So that's a really great way to kind of think about your bio and just think about when people are searching on Instagram to find a new account, like what words can you put into your bio that will bring them to you. So think about it that way. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to take questions, like I said, at the end. And then for those of you guys that have a lot of links, let's say you have a Poshmark, a Depop, and a YouTube, whatever it might be, you can actually make your URL. You see how it says website right here? You can make your website into something like a link tree, so you can display multiple links. There's Milkshake. There's a lot of different sites out there that'll allow you to display multiple links. But of course, you can also just pick one link, and put it into your website. But definitely great spot to drive traffic and gain people clicking on your link. So make sure you're using everything that Instagram gives you. Okay, that is pretty much our bio discussion. Moving on to the profile picture. So your profile picture is how you drive traffic from a post to your page. So when I'm in the feed and I'm like, ooh, what's on Instagram today? Scroll, scroll, scroll. I might see a cool post and then I'm going to take a look at who posted it. And your profile picture is going to be the thing that makes me say, do I want to see more from you or do I want to stay on this feed? So, people just are going to immediately decide if they want to see you or not based on that profile picture. So I want to say a couple things. There's a lot of ways to stand out. So I actually love this little hack. I added a circular border around my photo so that when I post a story on Instagram, I actually get 2 circle borders. I'm sure you guys have seen that. So if you look really closely at Thrifty Tay right here on the right-hand side, you'll see a little lip around her. That means that she's posted a story on Instagram. And that's going to make me want to click on her page because I know she's active. She just did something. She just shared something. Now, when I share a story, I get those 2 lips because my actual photo has a ring around it. And the ring that Instagram gives me also appears. So I have this double ring around it, which makes people go crazy clicking on my page. Of course, I also want to say that color is really your best friend when it comes to your profile picture because Instagram is mostly viewed in black or white. So as many of you guys know, when you're on your iPhone, just in the background of it on Instagram, it's very white, or you might have made your actual whole phone in that black theme. So it'll, come up in black, which my phone is in black theme. But when we take a look at all these accounts on the right-hand side, the one that jumps out immediately is that yellow one. So make sure that you're using color and, you're doing little things to really stand out with your profile picture. And I think that pretty much covers it. You want to be yourself, you want to be real, but try to do it with some flair and color. All right, so these are going to be the basics of posting. We're going to, go over like the who, what, when, where, kind of why, how questions right now. So we already talked about using new features that Instagram puts out. It really helps your algorithm. So if you start using Reels, which is their newest feature, you will be shown in the feed more because you're actually being rewarded by Instagram for using their new features. So I would say that if you're trying to grow your reseller Instagram, you really need to be doing 3 posts a week minimum. I would say no more than 2 posts a day. So that'd be 14. And I just kind of broke this down in a way that I think you guys can maybe be helpful. So here's a way to think about it. You could post like one joke or meme, which we're going to go over in a minute. You could post one post about your item or inventory, and you could post one thing about your life. And I think it's really important that you do post about who you are, because otherwise you're just another reseller page. You're just like somebody selling clothes, you're not you. And what is you is what makes you special, and what is your experience is what makes you special. So sharing something about you is really important. And that does not have to be, the most personal secret that you've ever had. It could just simply be like a picture of the meal that you had after thrifting at you know, your local shop and just talk about that deli that you always go to and the food that you always get after thrifting. And like nothing hits the spot after thrifting, like my absolute favorite deli, and it's female owned and I love it here and I've been coming here since I was a kid. And people really attach to that because then they start thinking about their favorite restaurant, and then, you know, it just connects you to them, makes you a human. So make sure you are sharing a little bit about your life at least. I do want to say that for the Instagram stories, you're going to want to post at least 2 per week. And I'm going to say 1 for your close friends list, which we're going to go over in a moment, but 2 stories a week. And I really like to do interactive stories. So using things like polls so people can vote. You know, you could literally post all your inventory with the polls, the yes or no. And then when people click yes, you can message them and say like, hey, I'd love to offer you a deal on this product. So, you know, getting that interactive story or asking people questions in your story is a really good way to make it engageable for other people. So you're not just sharing and kind of being another voice, but actually engaging in a conversation with them. And if you want good examples of this, follow List Perfectly. Pretty simple. We do it all the time. Everything we're talking about is exemplified on the List Perfectly account. Okay, I also think you guys should do one really long video. When I say really long, I mean longer than a minute, on Instagram TV every single month. It could just be very simple. You could do a come thrift with me. You could do a closet tour. You could do a this is how I pack my packages. You could do a this is what I'm looking for this season. I'm looking to source these things. You could talk about some sellers that you really like and shout out to other people. It's really, and how to's always do really well. So like how to package your eBay order. That's a really great piece of information to share on your reseller account. And yeah, just set up your camera right in front of you like this, upside down, you know, do that front camera and record yourself. It's really very simple. Again, document, don't create. So we were going to talk about giveaways and memes right now, because giveaways and memes are really amazing ways to grow your reseller account. So let me go back to this page. We said we were going to do 1 joke or meme, 1 item or inventory post. So an actual like, hey, go to my Poshmark and buy this. And then 1 thing about your life every single week. So the memes are what we're going over right now. And I will say memes, like really funny jokes and giveaways, are the #1, and I'm going to say tied for #1 way to grow your account. So you can actually create your own memes or repost other people's. I really like to create our own. So the one in the middle is List Perfectly meme, and on average List Perfectly gets, I would say, 500 to 600 likes every single photo. But whenever we post a meme or a giveaway, we go viral. So as you can see, we made this meme. It says, when you get a notification that you received an offer on an item and then realize it's for half the price of what you have it listed for. And then we have Will Smith, like, which is the vibe when that happens, and hilarious. We got 930 likes, so we're up almost double from what we usually get. 71 comments. People are sharing this, they're tagging their friends, they're laughing, and they're saving it. So this is a really great way to get people to engage with you. I'm sure you guys know that a lot of the bigger reseller accounts do this anyway, so something I'm sure you've seen before. And then of course, giveaways do so well, and I put standard giveaway rules on the right so that if you want to do a giveaway for yourself, you could just use these rules. They're really standard, and they work, and they're simple. I always try to say, don't overcomplicate giveaways, because you don't want to tell people to have to do, you know, so many things. Share my Poshmark, go follow me on Poshmark, find me on Depop. No, just keep it simple. Try to stick to the medium that you're on. You're on Instagram, so try to make all the rules stuff they have to do on Instagram, so they don't have to leave the app or leave that moment in time when you have their attention. So for giveaways, we at List Perfectly do a giveaway every single Friday. Get ready for tomorrow's. It's a big one, but this is exact rules we use. Follow at List Perfectly, tag friends in the comments. Every friend is an entry to win. People go crazy. You can see we have 912 comments on this last giveaway post. And to get 10 bonus entries, share this post on your story or feed. This is a great way for them to then tell their audiences, hey, there's this giveaway on List Perfectly, and bring their audiences to us. So ideas for things that you as a reseller can give away: stale inventory, stuff that's just been sitting there for a year. Let's get rid of it. put it in a box, right? Let's say that you went to the bins and you know that, and again, let's go back to what am I going to get if I spend money? So let's say you went to the bins and you got 10 items for 50 cents each. That's $5. Now, if you do a giveaway and you get more than 5 people to join you, that's a really good return on investment. I'm sure you will, by the way, using these rules. So anyways, that is super important when it comes to giveaways, thinking about what am I going to get for what I'm spending. But yeah, scale inventory is a great thing to do. Of course, you could give away tools like measuring tape or a mannequin. Those are really cheap on Amazon. You could send it directly to the winner. And you could also give like a gift card. So it could be a gift card to your store. It could be a gift card to Goodwill. And you don't have to actually have a gift card, right? You could just say, hey, you're going to win $50 to spend on my shop. All you have to do is buy it, and then I'll PayPal you the rest. And make sure you're announcing the winners on Instagram, because that's always really fun for the community. And you want to make the most of your giveaway and kind of do a little, flex that you had a giveaway and that you actually followed through and gave the winner what they won. So just think about creative ways that you can do giveaways. They are literally the best way to grow your account, alongside memes. They're both just absolute viral magnets. Okay, so close friends. This is for Instagram stories. So we already talked about that ring that we saw around the picture, which means that you have a story. But there is a way to set up what's called a close friends list on Instagram. And when you share something on your story to just your close friends, rather than to your audience at large, a green ring will appear around your story rather than that ombre color ring, which really gets people clicking, because they're like, oh, they shared something that only I can see. Like, I wonder what it is. And then they're also like, oh, I'm a close friend. They're like flattered. So they'll really engage with those stories. So I just say, anytime you get a customer, add them to your close friends list. So these are people that are actually buying from you, and you can give them like special deals on your story. You could say, oh, I'm doing a friends and family sale, so message me if you want any of the stuff on my Poshmark for 50% off, just today only, or hey, I'm getting a new inventory and I wanted you to know first. So it really makes them feel special, and they're going to get these messages. Like, it's not just like a story where you're posting it and you're like, hope people see it. Like, depends who's on today. If your close friend is on Instagram and sees that green ring around your page, they're going to click on it. So it's a really smart tactic to kind of build up your customer base and engage with your customers. Okay. And to add or create a close friends list, you're just going to click the right hand 3-bar icon on Instagram. It's right when you log into Instagram, you're going to see those 3 bars in the right hand corner. You're going to click on it, and then you'll scroll down to close friends and be able to add people to your close friends from there. When you actually post a story on Instagram, so you'll actually open up your app, you'll go to where you create your story, which is that top right corner, photo icon, click on it. And then when you take a picture to share to your story, you'll click that send to, and then your close friends option will be right at the top versus your regular story. So it's very easy, very self-explanatory. Okay. So I also want to encourage you guys to actually DM, direct message, send a private message to 10 resellers or people a week in the community. I cannot stress this enough. This is a community. You will hear every single super seller that we interview at List Perfectly, who has 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 followers, say, this is a community. Oh, I was so surprised with what a big community there is on Instagram, the reseller community, used all the time. Now, what does this actually mean? It means that there's real people out there that really want to connect with you. Pretty simple. So make sure you're actually engaging with them. But like I said, don't bite off more than you can chew. Pick 10 people a week to message. So the best way to message them is, and first let's start with who you're going to message. You can message other resellers. You can message buyers. So you can actually look at the comments on other people's reseller accounts and see people that are like, ooh, like love this, like might have to get it. Or like, ooh, like do you have it in a size medium? That's a buyer. People with a similar follower count as you, that's going to be the best way to get the response rate that you're going to want. So if you're going to DM somebody out of the 10 that has 1 million followers, probably not going to hear back from them, especially not if you only have 200 followers. So try to DM people that have the same number of followers as you. And also people who are already following you are a great place to start. They're already following you. Say hello. Thank you. Thank them for being there. Make a real connection. You cannot believe what a DM to somebody that follows you does for your engagement. You guys, I pick people from Sustainabay to message, and I'll just message them, hey, I noticed you've been following me for a while. Thank you so much. Like, I saw that you were gardening yesterday. Like, I have my own garden here. Like, love seeing your posts. They will like and comment my pictures like no other after that, because they're like, wow, she's a real person. She reached out to me. She actually noticed me. Like, I'm following her, and she kind of gave me back this just attention and like special moment. So, it's not that deep. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I made their day. Like, absolutely not. But it's a community and it's really nice. Like, I feel good. I'm happy that I connected with them too. So that's a really good thing to do, is to just pick 10 people a week to message. Now, how are you going to get their attention? So you're going to get their attention by liking or following them, or liking 5 of their pictures. So just, give them a little love so that they're like, oh, who's that? Oh, I noticed you. And then I comment on their most recent post. So you can see it circled right here, at username. So in this case, at Sustainabay, that's me, sent you a DM. So I actually let them know, hey, I sent you a DM. Then I send them a short and sweet message, 3 to 5 sentences max. I personalize it with a personal compliment to them. And I always end it with a question to keep the conversation going. So you could say, hey, Amanda, we're just going to use the name Amanda. I noticed you're a posh seller. So am I for the past 10 years. We have this thing in common. I followed you and shared some of my favorites from your closet. So I went to your Poshmark, I shared some. That's what I told her that I did in here. So obviously if you do that, actually follow up with that. You really do have great taste. How long have you been selling? Do you sell on any other platforms? XO, Alex. You guys, this is going to be your new best friend for life. Like, let's say you DM 10 people and only 1 of them come out of it. That's a really good return rate. Now you've just gained like 1, I'm going to call it RFF, reseller friend for life, or buyer, or you could say like, hey, Amanda, I noticed that you really like vintage clothes and you're following at Arizona Vintage. I saw that you were looking for stuff in a size small. I have really similar inventory for them. Is there anything I could help you find? I would love to give you a discount. Let me know what do you think? ? That would be the end of the message, so that you can ask that question and propel them forward. But this can be used in many, many different ways. So just think about it and reach out to me, send me a DM so that I can kind of take a look at your strategy, and then you can say hi to me. I'm not sure I can answer everybody, but let's just do some tests. Like, feel free to use me as your little guinea pig. Okay. So I just like to kind of reiterate that Instagram is the tool for buying, for selling, and products. Like, it is the shopping social media app, right? If you think about TikTok, you're going to think about dancing and like funny videos. And if you think about Instagram, you're going to think about products. So really think about this, okay? 72% of Instagram users make a purchase decision based on what they've seen in the app. I'm going to summarize, but that's essentially what the statistic means, is just that 72% of people on Instagram will admit that they've seen something on Instagram and then run and made a purchase because of it. 1 out of every 3 Instagram users have used their mobile phones to purchase a product online, making them 70% more likely to do so than non-users. So people that are on Instagram are way more likely to actually purchase things via their phones than any other demographic. 6 out of every 10 Instagram users log in daily, which means the people that are following you, 60% of them are on daily. Those stories really matter because they're 24-hour story, right? So you're actually reaching the people that are following you. Engagement rates are 15 times higher on Instagram than Facebook and 20 times higher than Twitter. So, this speaks for itself. And 60% of Instagram users discover new products on the platform. I'm going to sit here and tell you guys point blank, I have made at least 100 purchases based on things that I've seen on Instagram. And I'm on the business side, right? Like, I actually know that I'm being, targeted, but it's working. So this does work. I hope you guys loved this presentation because it's really near and dear to my heart. Tried to keep it light and easy. This presentation will be linked in the notes again. And I really encourage all of you to, grow your reseller accounts and you got to start somewhere. Everybody's a beginner when they get started. Now I'm going to take your questions. And I am just going to try to find them. Okay, here we go. Okay, no questions on YouTube, it seems. You guys have my Instagram. It's at Sustainabay. Feel free to DM me there or at List Perfectly. We do our absolute best to respond to everybody, but thank you so much for your time today, and I hope this was informative and you learned a lot. Thank you.